devices, giving children hormone blockers, which has now been stopped in Britain, by the way, and only Americans like you support. This is unbelievably destructive. The idea that truth is relative to the individual, that there is no objective good and evil, that we do not get our rights from the supreme being. These are all left-wing positions.
Dennis Prager went on Piers Morgan and shut down this absolute woke lunatic. It was an absolute annihilation. This isn't just a normal clip. This is an absolute annihilation here live on Piers Morgan. It was so bad. The Dennis Prager destroying this other guy. His name is Reza Aslan or Aslan. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Dennis Prager destroyed this guy so bad that it literally left Piers Morgan shocked. Let's get into this clip here where Dennis Prager goes off on this woke lunatic live on television on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Which is, you mentioned rhetoric, Reza, and in 2019, you tweeted this about Donald Trump, who's now, of course, the Republican nominee again to be president. The president's a white nationalist terror leader. His supporters, all of them, are by definition white nationalist terror supporters. The MAGA hat is a KKK hood, and his evil racist scourge must be eradicated from society. I mean, on reflection, do you regret that tweet?
You know, first of all, let me say, I regret every tweet I've ever made, which is why I've given up on Twitter for now 14 months. Twitter is a cesspool, and I wish I had never been on it.
The tweet is a cesspool.
The president of the United States.
Your tweet was a cesspool.
Twitter is a cesspool as far as I'm concerned. But let me just make one thing clear.
Your tweet was a cesspool.
The president of the United States. The former president of the United States, Donald Trump, is demonstrably and objectively a racist, sexist, lecherous, fascist, sociopath and pathological liar who has dehumanized his political opponents, who's called his political opponents vermin, who has called immigrants, undocumented immigrants into this country, not people, and who has literally quoted Hitler. Hitler, Mr. Prager, literally quoted Hitler by talking about the poisoning of the blood of our nation. His followers, his MAGA followers, have made it very clear, objectively so, that their loyalty is not to the Constitution or to the democracy of this country, but to
Reza,
this
you're
man,
calling.
It's hilarious how they just use the literally quoted Hitler as like this thing that's supposed to be the super evil thing. I'm sure Hitler said good morning every once in a while. You know, if I say good morning, do you think I'm quoting Hitler? Or I am quoting Hitler, you know, but am I the most evil person of all time because I'm quoting Hitler because I said good morning? Like, what is the context of this? Did Donald Trump try to commit a genocide or something and he quoted Hitler while trying to do that? Or was he just saying, you know, what's up, man? How you doing? And Hitler also happened to say that. Like, what are you talking about? He literally quoted Hitler. But what did he say, though? Like, it would be much more effective if you actually just said what Donald Trump said, but he would never do that because it was probably something very, you know, it wasn't something bad at all. And we all know the games that these people try to play. But Dennis Prager is about to absolutely lose his mind on this guy, and I'm very excited to show you guys. Let's get into this.
Effectively calling, I mean, nearly 80 million people voted for Trump in 2020. That was nearly 10 million more than voted for him in 2016. So a lot of people in America vehemently disagree with you. Are you really saying, as you said in that tweet...
There's a lot of reasons to vote for Donald...
Are you really saying that 80 million Americans are white nationalist terror supporters?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the MAGA, his MAGA...
You said his supporters, all of them.
I'm talking about...
all
of them. You've asked me a question. You've asked me...
Right, but his supporters...
I'm trying to answer it.
Okay, let me be accurate. You said his supporters, all of them, are by definition white nationalist terror supporters.
I should have said his MAGA supporters. We have a better term for it now than we did in 2019. That's who I was referring to, and that I 100% stand by. If you support a racist, you are a racist. You support racism. If you support a fascist, you support fascism. This is not complicated.
But aren't you using... I will come, Dennis, I'll come to Dennis in one moment. I'm just curious, Reza, because you really were very reactionary when you thought Dennis was basically calling Palestinians as a group, you know, inferring that they were all to blame for what's happening. over there.
Yeah, that they were all terrorists,
you were very quick to blame all Trump supporters and brandish them in the same way. Is there an inconsistency there?
First of all, I'm not talking about Trump supporters as slaughtering innocent people, but I am making it very clear, and I don't apologize.
Well, you said white
for
nationalist
this
terror
fact.
supporters.
Donald Trump is a white nationalist. He is a supporter of white national terrorism.
It's so funny because you can just like ask him why. Like, how do you know that? Did he say that before? They just have these talking points that the machine state tells them to repeat, that the woke media tells them to repeat, and they just say it over and over again, and they say it so confidently, and they have nothing to back it up. Like, what is your supporting evidence of this? Like, not only are you calling one person a white nationalist that supports white national terror, but you're also saying that the majority of the country also supports that stuff, and you have nothing to substantiate it, nothing to back it up at all.
Which is why he wants to completely forgive and pardon all of the J6 supporters who are in prison for insurrection and for violently attacking police officers. He is repeatedly used rhetoric in order to support, and his followers very much agree with those viewpoints.
All right, let Dennis respond.
Okay.
So,
first of all, he's not a racist. Okay, he's not a racist. He's not a white nationalist.
He's not a racist.
He's not a neo-Nazi. He is not a racist. That is correct.
He's not a white
He couldn't
nationalist.
care less about race. That is correct. He is not. The charges are despicable. The man was president for 4 years. The country was way freer in terms of freedom of speech, the most important freedom of all, than under Joe Biden and the Democrats. The man governed for 4 years. Did America become fascist? This is a gigantic lie, and that is the reason I say every day on my show.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
President Biden called you vermin. How would you think about that? What does it mean when you call your political opponents vermin?
Yes. He didn't call all his political opponents vermin. And by the way...
No. He said Marxist, communists, the people on the left, vermin. Explain that to me. Explain that to me.
So fine, I'll explain it. The left wishes to destroy Western civilization, not liberals and not conservatives.
Oh, we do. That's right. We want to destroy Western civilization.
You're the So let me ask you something.
That's my goal.
I'll just give you one little thing.
When this conversation's over, I'm going to continue my process of destroying Western civilization as you know it.
Do you believe that there are two sexes or more than two sexes?
I believe that gender is what a person wants it to be.
Okay, fine.
I believe that people have the ability to decide.
And civilization. Okay, good.
Really? How many genders are in the Bible? How many genders are in the Bible, Mr. Prager?
What about the Bible?
How many genders are in the Bible?
2. And God created Adam,
you tell me,
male and female. He created them. I'll quote it to you in Hebrew if you want.
6.
You don't know what?
Jeez, dude, these people, it's wild. And Dennis Prager, the point that he's making is correct about the genders, but also about the nuclear family. And then also, if you just look at what the left does and their behavior when it comes to protests and riots and things like that, they take every single opportunity that they can to do and demonstrate things that are anti-American. You know, do you think that most of these people on college campuses and stuff, in the height of the Middle East war that was happening, do you think they really care about Palestine? Do you think they really care? They just know that United States are allied with Israel, and so they want to go out and protest, free Palestine, because they know that that's them being anti-American. And look, I don't think it's necessarily anti-American to not support Israel, because I don't really, I don't want to say I don't want to say it because bad things can happen if you do, but I just don't really support our money going to anywhere overseas. I'll just put it that way. And I don't think that's anti-American at all. But I do think that there's different motives behind why certain people support certain sides of that. So what I'm saying is there's certain types of people that support, the Palestine, free Palestine stuff, and they're very anti-American. And there's also others that just understand that that other country over there, Ben Shapiro's favorite country, has a stranglehold on American politics, and that should probably end. And so that's why there's a group of other people who also don't support our ally over there in the Middle East. It sucks that I can't even use the words that I want to use. Like, I can't even say the name. It's like Voldemort, literally. But there's a massive anti-American sentiment in the left, and they take every single opportunity that they can to defend kneeling for the national anthem. It's really not that hard to stand up for national anthem. Like, just stand up. It's not that hard. It's ridiculous.
You're talking about. There are two genders.
The Talmud.
The Talmud is not
No.
the Bible.
The Talmud says
is not
there
the
are
Bible.
6
You may
genders.
not know the difference.
You're talking to
You
an
asked
actual
about the
scholar
Bible.
of the Bible.
Yeah, I am a scholar of the Bible. I have a 5-volume commentary on the Torah out. You should read it.
Okay,
It would
I'm
help
sorry.
you.
Go ahead. How am I going to destroy Western civilization when I'm done here? Keep going.
He's going to change the subject because he knows he just got caught by Dennis Prager. He said the Bible has 6 genders. And then he was like, no, the Talmud has 6 genders. The Talmud is not the Bible. And he knows he got caught, so now he's going to change the subject. I'm pretty sure Dennis Prager is going to go with it, but I wish he didn't. I wish he doubled down and made him explain how the Bible, quote the Bible, and tell me how it has 6 genders in it.
Okay, well, one of the ways is by denying that male and female are the only 2 sexes, giving children hormone blockers, which has now been stopped in Britain, by the way, and only Americans like you support. This is unbelievably destructive. The idea that truth is relative to the individual, that there is no objective good and evil, that we do not get our rights from the supreme being. These are all left-wing positions. They are all antithetical. That freedom of speech, 45% of young people, thanks to leftist teachers at college, do not believe in free speech for hate speech. But that is exactly what free speech is for. Speech you think is hate speech. That is just destroying free speech, which is what the left is out to do and has done and has lied. And these are the people who locked down schools against the conservatives who thought the lockdowns were completely destructive. The record of the left is pure destruction.
Right.
And all he can do is just sit there, act smug, say and just smile as if he doesn't care that Dennis Prager is absolutely torching him on live television. And that's exactly what that was. That was an absolute annihilation. Let me know in the comments though what you guys think about Dennis Prager absolutely destroying this woke idiot. I can't stand him, man. Dennis Prager is better than me. I would not be able to be that calm. I would lose my mind trying to talk to a guy like this. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Dennis Prager going on Piers Morgan Uncensored and absolutely destroying this woke idiot on live television.